What is up, everybody? Mr. Sullivan with me tonight. How you doing, sir?
I am wonderful, man.
You're wonderful.
I'm
Two-man
wonderful.
crew. It's the John and Mark show. I'm telling you. John always gets top bill because his it's alphabetical.
I was gonna say it's alphabetical. That's how we're
it,
doing it.
it sounds a lot better. When you say John and Mark, not Mark and John. I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me.
I
I'll
mean,
give it up. I'll give it up.
okay, that's fine. I'll allow it today.
I appreciate it. Well, two-man crew. Let's go ahead and start this out. We got our sponsors today. Got my brother's tackle fish shop. Um, get there. Fishing season is coming in right now. He's
Hmm.
starting to get even more stuff. I mean, the list is just growing. What he's doing, and it's good pricing too. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's good stuff, guys. I'm telling you, my brother spends a lot. He is OCD now about a lot of stuff. He is all about getting the stuff right for people. And he's gotten sponsored too out in bass fishing tournaments. So he's
Oh, cool.
a couple of those too. So link in the description. It'll be right down there. So, and then also to Mickey, he couldn't make the show, but he does do his figurines on the 3D printer. He is trying to make one for. He's got stuff. I know. Did you notice the pictures of those the other day that he was making?
Yes,
Yes, it looks pretty cool.
they look really cool.
I can't wait to see him. I really am. Unfortunately, people can't be here tonight, so it's just us two. Um, so, Vader, man,
Yeah.
I remember listening to Litian, Litaay. It's like from 2004 or 2000.
2000. Yeah.
That was my first introduction to Vader. And I was pretty blown away right from the get go with them. I was like, wow, man, the drumming is like just
Yeah.
pinpoint actually. And
Those
is
blasts are
well,
there's something.
when you go down the rabbit hole with Vader, there's only one constant member started back in '83. It's the lead singer. He used to be the bass player, Peter. Don't ask me to say his last name.
Yeah,
It's
it's
that type.
Polish. Yeah,
It's
it's
very
that type.
Polish. Well, let's bring that up. Polish metal. Who else do you know is Polish? Like in that extent, I can't think of anybody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I can't think of a Polish metal band, off the top of my head at all. So that's pretty cool by itself that you got a Polish metal band. I think that's really, really cool. His voice, I really appreciate this type of metal because I can understand what he's saying
Yeah.
all the time. I don't need a decoder.
Well, then that's gonna change some of my notes then.
What are your notes? What are your
Well,
notes?
no, because there's definitely on some of the later albums there's like a different kind of singing style, and
It
I was like,
is.
oh, is that a new vocalist? And I didn't really do as much homework this time. I kind of veered off and
The lead singer
did something
slash
else, but that's
the
not important
guitarist,
right now.
the lead singer guitarist, he's the guitarist too. He's the only constant member that's been in the band the whole time. That is
Okay, well then
every
I still have a gripe with him, and we'll
yeah.
get into that later.
All right, well,
It's not bad. It's
it's
not a
not
bad
bad.
thing.
Do we
It's
have
it's
feelings to come out with this? You got some
I
feelings?
have I have feelings, and I'm
You
gonna make a
feelings.
comparison,
All right, all right,
and I will make a
all right.
comparison, and it will probably like the three people that are watching will.
Fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding. It's cute.
We
Me
remember
and you.
this. This is the replay. This is the replay. Like 6 months down the road, this guy's going. This motherfucker.
This guy right here.
We're
Yeah.
going to get a cease and desist from a band one time. Like you guys talked about us, and it was bad. I would enjoy a cease and desist. You hear
That
that?
would be that
What?
means that means we made it.
Right? We made it. Firefighter, what's up, dude? Oh, my buddy, I haven't seen him in a while. How you doing, sir? Well, we're dealing with the band Vader. I love the name, the big band Vader. Oh, dude,
But
Vader.
they took it from Star Wars,
Yes, they did. Bunch of nerds.
right? Isn't that what most metal dudes are a bunch
They
of
are.
nerds?
They are the coolest nerds, though. They are the coolest. Because
I
I'm a
will,
nerd.
yes.
I'm the coolest.
Well,
All
I
right.
mean, if you think about it, you know,
Yeah,
that's the kind of mentality you need for this sort
it
of thing.
is. You know what I mean? It's taking something unique and like when you hear it, you're like, Vader. It's just so evil. Like you don't even need to know it came from Star Wars. You just say Vader, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking metal.
Yeah. I will say I did have to skip those two albums that were like the country lady singing and the Chinese guys.
Oh, fair enough. That's that's okay.
I mean, I actually dug it like from the Pine Needle Ridge or something. I mean, I listened to a couple songs and I
The
was like, that's
pine
pretty cool.
needle? What are you
It's
talking
like
about?
pine. I don't know what the hell. Let me see. See, now I'm just making up words like I
I think
normally
you
do.
are, but that's okay.
Let's see. Let me get back into look at it. Yeah, there was. It's one of those. Oh, songs from the Pine Room. That's what it's called. That shows up. I know.
I have never heard of that. It's
Well,
not one of the studio
it
albums.
it says it's Vader, and then there's a comma,
Uh,
and it says Axton Kincaid, and this lady is.
I am so sorry you had to listen.
Like I said, it actually wasn't too bad. I mean,
Okay. All
but
right.
I went through about two or three songs. And I was like, well, that's not them. So
That is
yeah,
that is not them. Okay.
and then this one with it's going to be backwards and it's stupid, but it's
Uh,
like Vino Nigiri or something right
I
there.
have never heard of that either.
Yeah, that looks like it's Japanese or it's some sort of
Yeah.
Asian. So
So what you
that
got to
got thrown
do
in there.
is go to the Wikipedia and they have it separated studio albums, EPs.
EPs and
That's the only way I could figure it out because they have a lot of EPs for
well, I
being,
noticed.
you know.
Yeah, and I noticed too that some of the EPs, some of those songs came on like some of the later studio albums.
Yeah,
So
they did do a lot of remastering or like redoing some songs. So I had to be careful of like
as
what I
most
got.
as most bands do.
Well, we'll get into that part. And actually, the first one we're going through is the Prometheus, which is from '95. So this is their second album.
That was their
Band.
second. Oh Jesus Christ, man! Spotify's all over the place.
That's their second album because their first album is from '92. So this is their second album, which,
Okay, that would explain why it kind of sounded backwards then. Okay.
yeah. Oh, well,
Because let's see, because that was what I was listening to, because I was like, oh, that says 2021 on here, but I guess that was the remaster time.
because we can go to
I was on the third song, and then
uh,
other stuff happened, and
the
then I was
other
like, well,
stuff.
well,
Let's
I can't.
see. Discograph, studio albums. Yep. So,
Wow. Okay.
so what you got is '95, released September '95. DuPont's. This is
Okay. See,
when.
this makes way more sense now. Okay.
So
Damn you, Spotify.
you know what we
You know what?
we can start doing this too to show people like what year it came out, stuff like that. But this is their second album, and they are kind of a low, um, how would you say, label at the time.
Mhm.
This is when they kind of get recognized a little bit because their first album in '92 was kind of the launching point for it. So Now, is this one of the albums you listen to?
I say I got through about the first three songs on it.
Okay. So I listen, of course, me being OCD, I listen to all the albums.
Well, it is your show, so
Got that right. I do notice with this album, it is a better progression from the first album. I feel like the playing style, it's still kind of the same as the first album, but it has better quality to it. You could say this is part two of the first album. I'll tell you this much: when I started listening to Vader, I would put three albums together every time, and I could listen to three albums a day because I'm in my truck driving. 3 minute songs really go by fast.
yes, they do.
30-minute, 40-minute albums, I can really appreciate that. I mean, this one
Mhm.
is
That one's like 34 minutes or something.
34 minutes. Um, these were the first three were reissued through Nuclear Blast. So they are under Nuclear Blast. They did reissue, like this one's from 2021, reissued
Right.
by that because they picked
That's
up their
that's where
discography.
I got.
That,
That's where I got. That's
yeah.
where Spotify got backwards. You bastards! Fuck Spotify.
I use Apple Music. I pay $10 a month for, but there are downsides because sometimes I don't get albums like a whole discography. I do have to find them and get them. It's, when you're talking about Gorgoth, yeah, they don't have every one of them. Vader, they had every one of them. The big. I personally think Vader is kind of a big name. I was telling Mickey, I don't know if you saw. I think it was just me and Mickey are talking. I don't know if you know. They are the thrashiest death metalist type of band. I
Yeah.
think the themes in the singing are the death metal, but the playing can be thrashy. This album, I feel like they lean towards more death metal with the blast beats.
Hmm.
The drumming is stellar. I feel like every album is stellar drumming. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
What did you think about the first three songs? To you, what did it
I
sound like?
mean, it sounded good. I mean, it definitely has that thrashy death metal thing.
I think they do. They have a tendency to stick to the death metal, but they will veer off into the thrash elements. Man, I will take this to the day I die. Death metal bands have the best riffs when they slow them down.
Hmm.
They really do. This band, I'll tell you what, this was easier for me to listen to than like Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
It was a
Yep. I
lot
could.
easier for me to listen
It's like Cannibal Corpse light.
to. I think this one being their second album is pretty good. I'm going to go with the B status with this one. B to me is listenable or lawnmower esque.
As Runyon likes to put it.
You know what? We're gonna say lawnmower. How do you spell esque?
ESQUE, I think.
Let's go.
It's whatever. Lawn mover, lawnmower, same thing.
I spelled it wrong. Add.
Uh,
Let's
no,
go.
no editing here.
No editing. Clear. Delete row. Clear row.
Warts and all. That's where we are.
Done. And we're going to erase. Delete. Lawnmower-esque. Yeah. There you go. I can't even
Nice.
spell it right. That sounds right.
I think you left the W out, but that's all right. We're not going to be. I'm not going to be a grammar Nazi.
You should.
All right.
I, I do have to say, I wish I would have listened to this one kind of like by itself. I do notice when I listen to the first three albums, they kind of blend.
Mhm.
Like the quality, you could tell the difference though when it gets to the third album. But the first album to the second album, you can notice, okay, a little bit more quality, a little more time, a little bit more refining the sound. So I give it a lawnmower. I
Well,
give it the lawnmower.
we're gonna have different categories
Uh,
now.
um, song that I think is really good is probably a balloon of Moon, Blood, Dream, and Me. That was a good, and Reborn in Flames,
That just
really
sounds
good.
like a good song.
Which is metal.
Yeah, like I said, it was on the list. I'll probably
Uh, hey,
listen to it eventually.
Rob. Hey, Rob's in it. Mr.
Hey,
Masanova.
Rob.
What's up, buddy? He said he listened to a few tracks of the first two albums, which, hey, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. Not bad, but I really don't like that type of music. Yeah, it's Vader. I
It's
think listen to the rest of this show. I bet you there's an album out there I think you would really like. I really do.
if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Well, let's hold up. Let's spin the
I just
wheel.
say if it's the one I'm thinking of, then
Okay,
he might be okay with it.
he might be okay. I think the older stuff is the Die Hard.
Hmm. Yep.
The
I think it's also just even if you're into that
Yeah,
sound.
the genre. Yeah. Um, band 30 years. What do we get? Ooh, the Beast.
Ah, the beast.
The Beast.
Yeah.
You want to stop? Yes. The Beast. All right. Did you listen to that one?
I did,
Okay.
and it was one of those like I had high hopes for it.
Oh, hang on, John. Rob, that's the part of the show. You listen to it. He said, once you get a band I know, I might actually be a guest. That's not the point of the show. The point of the show is for you to listen to bands you wouldn't listen to and give me your honest opinion. That's the point of this show. It doesn't matter if you like the band or not. You can at least appreciate songs, at least rate songs. Yeah, it takes 30, 40 minutes out of your day to listen to an album you probably don't care about, but it's one and done, right?
Yep.
And if you got a band like Vader that has like 12 albums, you listen to two, if you rate those two, you're part of the show. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I don't need you to listen to every album. If you can give
No,
me,
that's our job.
that's our job. That's me and John's job. We love to do that. If I get outside point of views, if you tell me the first album's 7.5, give me your reason, and you can tell me, or you can be on the show. We can just talk about music and bullshit all fucking night. That's the
Yep.
point of this. You
That's what
know,
it is. Yep.
it is what it is. All right, The Beach
So
from 2004.
yeah, I mean I did. It's one of those to me like this was like the fourth one I listened to.
Okay.
So um like the intro was very short because it's like intro
Yes.
and then it went right into the song, and I thought that was cool. I and this is where I've told you I'd make a comparison because
Okay.
I saw this through the first four of these albums where like guy is shredding his ass off, right?
Right? Yeah.
He is doing some shredding guitar solos, and then he decides, you know what it needs? It needs like 7 minutes of whammy bar at the end of it. And it's like he relies on that whammy bar thing. You know what I mean? That little wee
Yes.
thing, like how Kirk Hammett relies on the wah pedal.
Oh God, yes.
It,
You that's a great comparison. That's a great
so
analogy. Yes.
that is my analogy for the first actually 6 or 7 of these that I listened to, but apparently they were not in any kind of order.
Fair enough.
But yeah, dude loves his whammy bar.
Do
And
love. But the
and so
quality, do you notice the quality of it being a lot better?
It did. As it went on, it got better, and he didn't
Yeah,
use it as much because it was like I think the first 3 or 4 songs on here, I was like, oh, he's not doing the whammy bar thing. Neat. And as soon as I said that,
neat.
there it goes. There he's like doing his thing, and I was like, well, all right, fine, whatever.
What song? My favorite song off the album is probably Dark Transmission. I think that's a really good song. I threw it in my playlist of workouts. That's where I give it the okay. That is the
Yeah,
green of
the
awesome.
green light.
The green light. You make me. I think that one.
I like
And
Insomnia. I thought Insomnia was pretty cool.
I'm sorry. Actually, I was about to say that one and this. I Shall Prevail. That was
Hmm.
pretty good too.
That just has a good, I don't know, just makes you want to like punch a wall.
Yes. I feel like the riffing in this album was so what it shows me is when you go from 2000 to 2004, there's 3 albums. You notice, for me, I noticed the progression of the riffing is a little bit different in a good way.
Mhm.
Because like I said, I put them in threes because you get a 6 7 year gap of okay, this album to this one to this one. I feel like they progressed a lot better. I feel like the drumming is still he gets
It's
great drummers.
yeah,
Whatever he's like, can you do this 300 beats per minute? That's what I need.
that's what I need. Little,
That's what I need, and he gets it, man. He I like this album. I can listen to this one. I noticed a lot of these.
I,
I could say that too.
I would give it another go. Like I said, sometimes I had people talking to me and then it became background, so I probably
Uh,
missed a couple things,
okay.
but it's definitely something to go. It's another one to go back to and give another listen to for sure.
So what are we rating this? What would you like to rate it? What do you think? It sounds
Um,
like it's lawnmower at least, or
it's
how?
definitely it's definitely it's definitely lawnmower for sure.
Okay, so it's lawnmower. All right. So
Because that's when I might be, like when I cut the grass tomorrow, I might throw that on again.
yeah. I think it's a good album. I think it's a another stellar album. I really do. Um, probably put in a lawnmower. I might have put it in killer, but lawnmower is a good range to me. Nothing really sticks out to me like, oh my goodness, a couple albums did do that to me. Hopefully,
Yep.
I get them. But the Beast. What I did is through Lydian, Revelations, and the Beast together. You could tell a difference from the
Hmm.
first three to those three, but those three, um, you could tell the similarities, but there's okay, this CD does this and this and this. This one was I feel like I might be kind of out here in my league. The Beast had kind of a progression to it, like I don't know how to put it, a different tone to it, if you
Yeah,
will.
it was like a different sound, but it was the same.
Yeah, they were trying something to
It was
be
them. It was you definitely knew it was Vader, but it was like,
sure.
well, this is kind of different.
It's kind of different, but it's one of those things. It's 2006. A lot of bands. You're 20 years in. You're trying to stay relevant. They wasn't really trying to be like the biggest band, but they're like, you know what? Let's try something different. And also,
Yeah,
too, when you have revolving door players, sometimes that does
hmm,
influence
that
the
happens
sound.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coming through that way. Um, what did I get? What is that one? I can't tell.
I
Oh,
think it went up to
Necropolis.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, dude, this one,
Necropolis. Yeah, this
Necropolis.
one that's brutal, man. That's a brutal album.
Dude, I will tell you this much. That one,
That one's
it,
in the killer section.
that is a killer. I'll tell you what, actually, that one goes into the S tier for me. I can listen to this album. Well, okay, I got influenced. I can't do it. It's under Killer. The only reason I put it back to Killer, I can't I can't use the cover albums, the cover
Because of Fight Fire with Fire on there.
dude. That is the best cover I've ever heard of Metallica. Ever. And they do
It's
it.
they
They
do
play
it
it like
well,
they do it
and they do it
so well,
faster.
as it should be.
I mean,
And
because you look at like when Anthrax covered Phantom Lord, and
yes. Uh,
um,
yeah. Uh, why did I lose you in camera? Oh, there you
I
are.
don't know.
Okay.
Oh,
I lost
hey,
you
there
in
we
the
go.
camera. You froze up a little bit. That's okay. You're good. Um
Stupid internet.
Devilizer, Rise of the Undead,
Hmm.
We Are the Horde, When the Sun Drowns in the Dark. Dude, what a great ending song. Like I personally, this is my top 3 album I put up there. I didn't really rate it, but I'll tell you what, I will go back to this one with no problem.
Yeah, there's also a song that's on the end of this one called Black Metal, which is really cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. They did that one justice. His voice is, I notice in the progression of these albums, it gets better. Like I personally think his voice is better. His playing is a lot better too.
And I can't,
Um,
I don't remember if it was this one or if it was the next one, but he had like kind of a Tom Araya
yes,
delivery.
yes,
Was it this one?
yes. It was. It was.
Okay, I thought so. That because it just like that vocal delivery, I was like this could be their song.
Yeah, it definitely I was like, "Oh, that's Tom, you cheater." There are some comparisons I heard about Slayer through there.
Oh, you froze up there.
Yeah, you froze up too. I noticed you froze up. Okay. All right, you're good. Hey, your internet must
Weird.
be a little
All right,
choppy. That's all good. No worries. Um, so yeah, I put it in Killer. That is a real. See,
yeah,
see, Rob,
that's a good one.
the Killer in the S, those are the ones you need to listen to. The problem is the I'll keep my we'll get to it later. There's reasons certain things are certain ways, right? I have to say Vader, if I can listen to at least half their albums and enjoy those,
Hmm.
that's a really good band to me. Like
Yeah,
considering the quality of the recordings at the time and what they did, stuff like
yeah, for
that.
sure.
Oh, you got oh okay, Lithian.
Li- Yeah,
Is that how you say it? Yes.
litany.
Litany. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Be like,
Litany.
you guys are butchering our songs. Cease and just take this down immediately.
You gotta speak Polish. I can't speak Polish.
All
It
their
must be a
songs are
Verizon connection. Of course it is, Rob.
they speak English.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll have somebody translate for him too.
it's broken as hell. I need closed
Yeah.
captioning. I'm
One
guessing
step
you're
at a time.
one step. Did we hear this album? Did we
We
listen
did
to
hear
it?
this one, and
Okay.
this one I was like, oh, these are shorter songs because this was a
31
short
minutes.
album.
31.
Yeah, but it was like you know just to the point and
So,
uh, yeah.
um, Exper X E X was it XEPR
Yeah.
Expert.
Hmm.
For to Die, A World Made of Flesh, and The Final Massacre. I have to say this album compared to uh, Black to the Blind is total night and day.
Yeah.
I feel like the first three to Blind was a certain way, and if I'm not mistaken, Litany or Light, how you say it,
Litany.
Litany. I think this is when Nuclear Blast picked them up. This is when they got picked up, and I can tell the quality
Yeah, that would
is.
make sense. Yeah.
It sounds. When I heard this album, it was a breath of fresh air to me, of the most heaviest metal ever. I'm like, it sounds so good, and they kept this sound up to a couple years ago. I feel like this is
Yeah,
really
like
good
I say,
produced album.
yeah, so I listen to these in all kinds of out of order.
But it's
Because
the
this was the second
uh-huh.
one I listened to
Ah,
after Ultimate, the first one,
the first one. Okay,
the Ultimate Incantation.
you notice a difference there.
Oh yeah, there's a huge jump there.
Huge jump. I feel like they kind of expanded their sound when they went to this album.
Hmm.
And that's where the Beast comes in, because when you listen to this one to the Beast, it's kind of that formula. They have a
Yep.
formula. And what they can do is open the door to little things, but they come back to the middle of the road. You're like, there's the blast, there's
Yep.
the slow. There, when it, I feel like later on in their years, like the past 10 years, you'll notice, okay, a little bit less blasting, more double kick, like a thrash
Hmm.
sound. I feel like
Yep.
they are more thrashy now, but I'm
Yeah.
jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Um,
As
so
as we tend to do.
yeah, as we fucking tend to do. I do have a couple of these songs in my gym list too. I feel like they were really good songs. What did you think?
Yeah, I like I said, it was definitely, like I say, being the second album I listened to, so
Mhm.
we're in 10 years apart or whatever it is. And
Sure.
yeah, there's a big jump.
It is a big jump. I loved it. I think that was
Uh,
a good album.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. I would
Where were we putting it? Killer, Lawnmower, Die Hard. I feel like you wanted in Killer. I feel like
it's pretty killer, dude.
it is. Now, is it
Pretty
better
killer.
than Acropolis?
Ah,
I don't think so. But
I
don't.
don't think it is.
Okay.
No, I
I
don't
think
I don't think it is.
I know
I
it's better
it's
than the Lawnmower ones. I do feel like
Yeah.
this one is better than this one. The Beast is better than DuPont's or
Hmm.
whatever, DuPro. Um, I like this. I think okay, yeah. Uh, I see me and you have the same kind of outlook on things, and we agree a lot because I think we have that mindset of what we being a drummer. I think that kind of influences us a
A little bit, yeah.
little bit.
It's a little bit, yeah.
But that's why I wanted like other people, a singer, a guitarist, to give me their point of views.
Yep.
A guitarist listening to that would be like, man, it's just they kind of play the same thing a little bit, but they kind of venture off a little bit. It's kind of hard to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
It's one
hard
of
thing.
those.
Sure.
What do we get? That is that is that the Empire? That is the Empire. I gotta start putting names on these.
Yeah.
The
That
Empire,
one, I did not get to that one.
dude. I'll tell you this: the Empire. I might be biased. It is. I think is an S tier. No joke. I believe this came out in 2016. The quality of the songs are so much better where when it hits um Tibi Tibai Ete Inga? Don't ask. Then the Empire in Solitude. I feel like that is the new three. So the last album before the Empire is Tibai. It's like 2014. This one is 2016. It seems like they have this 3 year cycle where I'm sorry, 3 album cycle where you can listen to those three and they kind of go together. It's like a chapter in a book for them. It is this album, I feel like kind of leaned more towards the thrash elements than the death metal elements, but they had like Angels of Steel, Prayer
That's
to a God of War, um, the Army, Gideon, and Send Me Back to Hell. Dude,
just great names for songs, by the way.
they are the best song title. Yes, they are a death metal thrash band, and they do lean into the Satan elements like Slayer. I feel like that's the
Yeah.
comparison they get a lot. Is they talk about not only heaven and hell, but they talk about the good and bad. They have this the black and white world where Slayer, Venom was kind of the blackish and Celtic
Hmm.
Frost, and them. But Slayer did go into the dark, but they did show the good and evil of certain things. Vader is no different. Um, but the song titles really send me back to hell. You know what I mean? This is a really
Yep.
good album. Feel My Pain, dude. I'm telling you, this album. Did you listen to this one?
No, I didn't get a chance to
I'm
get this
telling
one.
you, you need to listen to this one. I will put it in S tier, and you'll understand why. Trust me on this one. It is really a good one. I was quite, and it is like 30 years into their repertoire, and like this album, I'm like, wow, they gotten. You always have the peak and the
Hmm.
downslope.
Yep.
Metallica had the peak, Megadeth, Anthrax.
They all had it.
Exodus had a peak, and they came down and they peaked again. What saved them is a different singer.
Yep.
That's where they were able to manipulate kind of stuff because Anthrax came back up, but not a lot from John Bush. With Joey Belladonna, it's to me it hasn't really got back to the way it was, but that's here or there. I feel like Vader,
That's when we get to Anthrax in
yeah,
6 years.
with we'll put a year 7. Vader to me has been this chugging of process. Like I really could say from their first to last album, they might have came down a little bit, but it wasn't a lot. In this album being 2016, the quality, the drumming is I couldn't expect drumming to get better. This one got better. You will understand why this one got better. I'm like, there ain't no effing way this could happen. And I started listening to songs. He started playing double kicks, no blasting. It's just like it going, the riffing goes with the doubles. You're like, yeah, this is thrashy as hell. I love it. It kind of reminds me of um like uh like Megadeth, how he likes to go with the double kicks. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The Machine
Yeah.
Gun Fire. They do a
Yeah.
lot of it in this. Soloing is actually really. I was like, oh, there's a solo. Oh, there's another solo. Oh, look,
No,
you know,
look
and
at that.
I'll tell you what, they dip their toes into solos. I appreciate that because it gives a different dimension to the CD, to their sound.
Mhm.
Like they can solo it, but they don't need to show off. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? When you have a solo in every song, it's like I like solos in songs. Let me retrace what I'm just saying. I like solos. I really, really do. But sometimes putting a solo in a song doesn't need a solo sometimes. When you have a rhythm solo, not really a solo. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Sure.
these bands, a lot of these older bands, I think they just uh, they're washed up with their solos. You know what I mean? They're recycling some of their stuff and like, oh well, if the rhythm's this, I'll just play something different with the rhythm of the rhythm. And you're like, well, that's just a rhythm played in a different key. That's all it is. You're really not. And see, that's where Metallica gets that hate because Saint Anger, they were playing no solos. It's too late in their career to do that.
Right.
Like you can't be just doing it because you feel like doing it. You should have did that years ago, and we will give you more credit. Like,
Yep.
okay,
Yeah, like now they feel like, oh, I can just put solos in here now. Now they
oh
fit.
yeah,
Now they
now
fit 20 years later, really?
now they fit. It's when you get a band like this, they got into position of, well, they're just playing blast beats the whole time and they're just chugging along. And then when you get to that's the first three, the next three, like, oh, they opened up the sound a little bit, they have more ambience, and then the next three, you're like, oh, there's a solo, there's a solo. And then the last three, you're like, wow, there's a lot more solos in this. They played it right. They know what they're doing. Those death metal guys, they know what they're doing. I give them credit. It might be just now about death and whatever. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. There is some musical talent there for sure.
There is. You just got to find the musicianship is a unboundary sense of aggression for me. It's unbound. You can't
Yeah.
go aggression with country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different aggression
It
depending
is very different depending on who you're listening to.
on what you're drinking.
Well,
Ooh,
when you get whiskey bent and hellbound, you know.
exactly. You, my friend, got the very first album.
Ah, yes, the ultimate incantation.
The ultimate. I
Yeah, I
do I do notice their album covers. This one is kind of like a ripoff of Deicide a little bit, like Legion. Has a little bit of a I don't know. I feel like they ripped them off a little bit. You owe them a ham sandwich.
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, name dropping Deicide again.
That'll be year 8.
Yeah, yeah,
Be careful, it might be year 5. I don't know.
who knows?
So the very first album, what did you think about it?
I it it kind of grabs you by the throat a little bit
Sure.
and kind of gives you that little paintbrush, across the
Oh,
face.
yeah, yeah.
And again, like I said, man, just the the whammy bar solos in like every every song. It's like you're gonna rip
Woo! Yeah, it does.
you're gonna you're gonna rip the freaking thing. It's like, I mean, it reminded me of a lot of like what like Dimebag Daryl would do, but
Sure. Okay.
just a lot more of it.
But Dime to me put it in special moments, and then he just comes out of it and goes into something so
Something,
heavy
yeah.
that it blend. This is just they just did it to fill the
This,
gaps.
yeah, it was like, I need something else here. Let me do this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
thing that I want to sound like a horse. And
Yes.
but no, yeah, but no, like you said, like Dime did it where it needed to be.
Yes. Yes.
And then he went on to the next thing and
Rob says, I was like, what the hell they got me listening to? That's the best part. That is the best part of the show.
That's exactly it, Rob.
Like you got to listen to this music.
That's
be
our
like,
plan.
Yes, we got to take over the world one person at a time. I think this album is a really good debut album.
Yeah,
I
I
think
I
this
thought the
was
same. Like they kind of just came out full guns blazing. Like
it
that.
did.
Hey, this is what we're doing.
Um, Final Massacre, Rain, Karen, Chaos, and Vicious Circle. Those are really good songs. Um, I I'll be honest, the first three I feel like were kind of. I wish I would have listened to them separately because I feel like I was like, well, which CD is this?
Yeah,
Because they started sounding the same to me. They had the formula that those three CDs had the same formula, but they're better quality in every CD. I would put this on a lower end of mine,
mhm.
um,
I
but
would feel like this is in the Die Hard category, if I
that
can
is
say that.
yes, it is very a diehard.
There's stuff on there that you're like, yep, that's cool, and then other ones you're like, okay.
Eh. And then again, that was 48 minutes long. That was
Yeah,
one of their
that was
longest
one of their
albums.
longer ones. Yeah.
You could really tell they put in time and effort to
Hmm.
um, the album. Great start, got them on the map. Um, I don't know much else to say to it.
I I don't think there is much else you can say to it, really.
No, no, it was a good start. I
Yeah,
tell you what,
definitely a good start. Yeah.
for a beginning, it definitely kicked off the death metal kind of esque to
Hmm.
it. But they had to be a little different, and that's where that thrashiness. They were kind of one of the first ones to do a thrash death metal sound, which I'm
I,
noticing I'm liking it a lot better.
yeah, yeah, I feel like it's one of those albums that you listen to a couple months down the line after the
Sure.
killer, like the killer in S tier, which we'll probably rename the S tier something else too. But
Satan.
the Satan category. Jesus Christ.
There you go. Well, we're getting canceled now.
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
I got Welcome to the Morbid Wretch. That, I'll tell you what, going from Necropolis to Morbid was um, kind of night and day to me.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like trying to like go back to the like earlier sound or
That's exactly what I put down. Was they kind of went old school a little bit,
yeah.
um, like don't rip the beast heart out.
Yeah.
I am who feeds upon your souls. Killer titles.
Yep.
God, it's a killer.
Black
Um,
Velvet and the Skulls of Steel.
the Return to the Morbid Wretch. That was a good song. Troops of Tomorrow. I'll tell you
That's a
this.
good album ender.
Yes, yes, it is. They do talk about war a lot. They are about war themes a lot too.
Well, I would imagine so, being where they're from.
Yes, that is kind of their niche a little bit more than anything. Is they talked about the wars and everything like that, about what happened. That is kind of their niche too. That's why you notice a lot of those songs like "They Are
Oh,
Coming" and "Pray for War." You're like,
oh
what?
yeah. Well, that. Yep.
That's what they are. Coming through
Raping the earth.
that. Yeah, yeah, raping the earth. Really? Did we really have to say?
I. Oh,
Uh,
you know what? This one, the very first track, I think, where
Ultima
it's
through
yeah,
Theo,
the
Theo,
just the drums. The
dude.
drums just kick in right away,
Yes.
and it just goes into the thing. I was like, oh my god,
They are really good.
who thinks of that?
Either like they get you to the point, or they're just like, here you go.
Yep.
That's where that old school vibe came into. I feel like it was a good mix of thrashy and death metal. I feel like it was kind of like down the middle, with a lot of their stuff.
Yep.
Um, what's the song? Only Hell Knows. Come to See My Sacrifice. Those were good ones. I noticed I do come back to them. To me, This is a high lawnmower. I think,
Low, low killer, high lawnmower.
yeah, I feel like it's a good lawnmower album. I do want to put in Killer, but I
I
believe there's other albums ahead of that.
Yeah, and this again, I'm like, I'm listening to this at my, I'm playing it over the stereo at my job, and I do that on Saturdays because Saturdays are a slow day for me, and
Okay.
so like this album came on, and this was when people like I actually had people talking to me, so I had to turn it down and actually do my job while people are telling me dumb things about their yard that I don't care about.
So when I'm listening to these albums, it's in my work truck or gym. Like I had it in my ears at the gym. I'll listen to an album, whatever. I'll
Usually
tell
I have it in the car.
when I have it in my truck, dude, that I have a really nice system in my work truck. It's a 2020. It's really nice. Those kicks and the riffing, it is just so they do a good job producing these albums. I don't know if the band's part of it, but I'll tell you what,
Their
whoever
producer is on point.
is definitely on point. The first three, not so much because of the times, right? The money and the times, just the way it is. But when it hits the 2000s, dude, they were like, our albums need to be this much better. And they definitely put their money where their mouth is. They made them so much better. They're always on the top, like heat seekers for Billboard and stuff like that. They're always doing good, like every year. It seems like Morbid. I think it's right at Killer, but I'll keep it at Lawnmower.
It's a killer lawnmower album.
Yes. New title, Killer Lawnmower. Patent it. Patent it.
Put that on my tape.
And see, when I listen to Impressions of Blood, Necropolis, and Welcome, you could tell a progression of those three albums. So, like, I like those three albums together when
Yeah.
I listen to them. I think you could tell the difference between them um, enough. You know what I mean? What did you get? You
Let's
got
see.
Revelations? No,
No,
you got to
the
buy. Oh
yeah.
yeah,
This one I actually just listened to this about 2 hours ago.
I listened to it today. Yes, I had three more to go. This is one of them. This was the first one I had to listen to.
I think this is one of the longest albums that they had.
58 minutes. You're right.
And it had, to me, it had that, like, all throughout you had like that. Wow, man. And again, I just listened to it. The intro for Go to Hell.
Killer song. I like that one.
It was really, and the Hexen Kessel is another good
Yes.
one. Um, the Eye of the Abyss, that 2 minute intro, and then
Yes.
it just goes into like,
It's really good. I think
yeah, it's like a 6 or 7 minute long song, but
they they do have this ambience sometimes
it's
that
almost like they tried to go a little bit proggy.
they have that they dip their toes in that stuff. They really do. I notice it a lot. They dip it. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, look at that. You
yeah,
know what I
he's
mean?
doing the thing there. Yeah,
Yeah. It gives them is that creativity where you don't have to be in that box. I feel like the earlier stuff they were just in this box, and when
hmm
it hit to 2000, it's like, why don't we just open up a little bit and do kind of a ambience something like, and then you hear like war machine stuff, and then you hear like the sea and the wind, and
hmm
it's kind of this epic like
yep,
storytelling, if you will.
yeah, and like I mean the whole album. I mean, in all honesty, is pretty great.
I think so too. I think that's a really good album. It was definitely this was the first of the three I listened to today,
hmm
and you could tell I could tell from the last three to this three. This one, what is it? Empire and Solitude. I do like the later Vader. Huh. I do like the later stuff, but what did you think? What do you think?
This is it's it's up there. I mean, it's definitely in the
Okay. Now,
killer section for me. It's kind of a low, like, I don't know, it's almost like low Satan tier too, if that's what we're calling it.
really? Okay.
I really liked it. I mean, I thought it was
I'm okay with the S tier. Dude, I'll tell you what. I strongly I approve that message.
yeah, Rob, this is one that you should listen to.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Rob, Rob, I'm looking at you right now. Listen to this album.
Give it, hey man, this man
I
knows his stuff.
I mean, I've only known Rob for how long now? Like
God,
10 or 15 years, something like, I don't know.
long enough.
Long enough. I've known him long enough. He should be able to trust my judgment.
Right? Got it. I'll check it out. That's what he said. You're a good man, Rob. It's a good, at
We
least good on
appreciate
the
you.
yes, at least a good lawn mowing, cutting wood, whatever type of
Yeah,
album,
whatever it is Runyon does with these albums.
Yeah. Okay. This is Impressions of Blood. So for me, Impressions of Blood, it has good songs in it, but it wasn't. The drumming is great, the playing is great, right? So this one was right after The Beast. So I had The
Oh,
Beast,
I see.
Impressions of Blood, and Necropolis. Impressions of Blood was the dip for me. That was it went from The Beast down to this one, Impressions, and then it came back up to Necropolis. I'm not saying it's a bad album. It is
That's not even on Spotify that I can
ah
see. So
to
there you
me,
go.
it is a diehard album, but it only had a couple good songs, right?
Hmm.
It's all they had Hallelujah, Hallelujah, God is dead.
Well,
um, as Heavens Collide, um, Among the Ruins, and Predator Warlords. There were okay songs. I just wasn't like, wow, this is a really good album. To me, this is the bottom of the tier list for me. So I put them in Die Hard.
this is their Saint Anger album.
Maybe. I tell you what, every one
I
of these albums is better than Saint Anger to me. Every one of them. Even the very first one, better than Saint Anger. Is
Wow.
that our limit? Is that going
That
to be our
that
like
that's gonna be the bottom. Is like
I have to
Saint
make it
Anger is the bottom for.
so, okay, Rob, 19 albums on Prime Music, but 12 of them are studio albums. You got to remember EPs, live albums, cover
Yeah.
albums. They don't count. It's just studio. That's it.
Hmm.
But we do make exceptions if we have a collective agreement. Garage Incorporated was one of them. And I think
Yes.
Hidden Treasures for Megadeth is acceptable too. We've already accepted those two as
Did
part of
we?
the
Oh, I
list.
think yeah, you're right. We did. We
I
did.
think that was a Mickey thing. We
That
did
was a
that.
Mickey thing, and
If
I
he's not
because
here, we don't count it. we'll discuss that.
it'll be in the later times.
It'll be in the later times, yes. I will say impressions. It did leave an impression on me. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a man. This is a great album. It is a Die Hard album. Maybe bottom. You can figure Die Hard is a lawnmower album too, in its
Yeah.
own. Um, not one I would come back to be honest. Good try though. I mean, we're talking, 37 minutes, 2006. It definitely goes into the vein of 2000s, recreating sounds. They already did that with Lydian, which was a good comeback album to me. But going from there to Revelations, Beasts, and Impressions, I feel like Impressions should have been the first album, then Lydian, and then the rest, or like, you know what I mean? Like it should have been
Hmm.
made differently, you know.
Yeah.
But this is when they were cranking out album, album, album. Like
Yeah.
they had four in freaking 6 years. That's a really good crank out, you know.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album you should check out? The one album is the Tabir. What is it? The
Oh, jeez. Tibi et Igni. And I don't even.
2014.
Yep, the
T
orange one from 2014. That's the one.
T T-I-B-I
E.T.
ETIGNI.
Yeah, I was just guessing on the pronunciation. I have no idea.
I um oh, god damn it. I'm typing on the wrong fucking thing. Oh shit. There we go. TIBIETIGNI. Right. You're welcome. All right. Are we ready for the next one? I got so many screens. There we go. We're down to three. Ooh, doggy. So we got the latest one. We got Back to the Blind.
Oh,
And
these. Oh, okay. All right. These are all covers on these two albums. Okay.
Back to A Blast from the Past.
Future of the Past
Future
and
of the
stuff.
Past. Yep.
Yeah.
Those two are cover albums. Yep.
Yeah, I figured that just by
Yep.
looking at the tracks.
Yep. Ooh, you got the latest one. All right.
Yeah, I wanted to listen to that. I just didn't. I didn't get around
Okay.
to
You want me to take that
get
one?
to it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you this much. This album is really good too. Dude, I'll tell you what, it's just every album, the last three albums, the Empire, Tibia, Tibia, Ita, the Empire of Solitude. Dude, those three albums are really good. I do put the Empire in front of this one. Solitude, I would say, um, and Satan Wept, Dance in the Slaughterhouse,
Of course, because those are just great titles.
um, Inca, um, Incarnation of the Gods, Incineration
Incineration
of
of the
the
Gods. Yeah.
Gods, and Sanctification Denied. Dude, every song going back to back to back is really, really good. I'm going to put this in the high killer range. Um, I'll tell you what is close to an S, very, very close. There are some songs like Stigma and Into Oblivion and Despair. Like, they're good songs, but they weren't like, let me listen to them again, right?
Right.
Let me double check myself. Um, Emptiness, Triumph, Death, Bones. Oh, I threw Bones in there. Okay, Bones must have been a good one too. I could be wrong. I threw Bones in the list. Bone. See, whenever I throw them into a list of my workout, it's a good song. Like it's a heavy song. It's killer, and I advise maybe even that one is a good one to pick up too or listen to. I think being 2020, uh, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
God, these guys, 30 minutes. That's
Like,
killer.
yeah.
I've listened to three albums in an hour and a half. That's lawnmower time, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
For some of us, yeah.
it is good. The last three albums, I can't wait for their new one. I heard their new one might be this year. I'm not for sure yet. I'm looking forward to it, like a lot. I'm really looking forward to it. Um, let me see if it's. No, they don't have. No. Sometimes they preload the album that's coming out. I don't have nothing for it. Like you get a single or something. You know what I mean? You got Revelations.
Well, Revelations. That was the third album I listened to, apparently, according to this.
Okay.
And I was trying to, like I said, I don't remember a lot. I feel like this one to me, and again, this came like, oh, this kind of sounds the same.
Mhm.
Like, there were like the three bonus tracks at the end. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's actually not bad stuff. And then, yeah, it was all just kind of, okay, here he's doing the crazy, you know, whammy bar
You can't
solos.
look past the whammy bars.
I can't. It
It's
really
the
irks me
whammy
for
bar
some
show.
reason. You know,
um, I
no
will.
no stairway.
No, no, no. I
Use the
will.
"May I help you" riff. That's
Yes, yes. Um, uh,
again.
again. They really out of this CD. There's only one or two songs that I really didn't care for, but other than that, I really did like this album a lot. Um, 44 minutes, a little longer. Without the bonus tracks, I bet you it would be 30 some minutes.
Probably, yeah.
Um, like Black Moses, Wolf Tribe, When Darkness Calls, The Code, In Touch, Torch of War. Um, I really
Yeah,
enjoyed this album.
I feel like those were probably the ones that I was like, okay, yeah, those are the good.
Yeah,
But
they're. I like
again, like I don't know.
Torch of War. Rob liked that one too. Yeah, Torch of War. Because this came out in 2002. This was right after Litanian. So it was kind of in that progression of what they were doing. They were really
Yeah,
bigger sound. I feel like it had a bigger
it
sound.
did have a big sound on it for
Very
sure.
very fast drumming. Like I was ever since the 2000s, their drumming either it's getting better or they're doing
Something.
does the term more they're doing more to less. Does that make sense?
Yes,
It sounds very weird to say that. They're doing more for less. And it's like,
they're they're doing more with less.
yes. I feel like it definitely I feel like the first three was kind of a whole band thing, a little bit sprinkled. The next three after that was the drums are
Mm,
front and first. Like it is, here's the
they're out there.
drums.
Yep.
Everything else is behind it. Then the next three, you're like, okay, they got the blend. They're blending everything in. And then the latest three is like, okay, the drums are here, but the solos are getting kind of pushed. They're pushing the riffing, the slowness, the creepiness. You're like,
Hmm.
okay, it's starting to be a collective. There's a lot more paintbrushes in the rainbow happening here. It's not just one lane. You're seeing so many lanes that I think this one for me would probably be in the later killer, like the end of the killer less, set.
And and again, it's probably one I'll have to like listen to again just
Yeah.
to uh not be have it background, which is kind of what some of these were. So that's probably why
That's hard to
I'm a
do.
little skewed, you
Yeah,
know.
I had that issue too on a couple of these. I'm like, God, I really didn't listen to it. Like, and I had to replay the whole album like the next day to really feel it out. I'm like, all
Hmm.
right, okay, I got the album. You're going 12 deep. It can
Hmm.
be freaking hard. Um, so where would you rate this album?
As far as background music goes, it's pretty killer background music. Like I say,
Okay,
it's low killer, you know,
low killer. Okay,
lawnmower style.
okay. I really truly believe that the Lawnmower Up are good albums. Like they are like sevens and better to me. I feel like they're 7 point whatever to 10. There's so much. They're really good albums. I'll be honest, from Killer to the top tier, I would listen to them again, like with no problem, and make like a playlist of those six and like put them on random. Wouldn't even care. Even the Morbid, I would throw in there too. So from like 2000 up to now, I would throw those into a mix and just let it go. I definitely would. The first three, which let's go ahead and talk about Back to the Blind. So that's the last one.
Black, black to
Black,
the blind.
yep,
Okay.
Black to the Blind. Um, I think this is their best album for the first three. This is their top tier of the three, right? The first three. This is where they get picked up from Nuclear Blast. Um, they perfected the blast beats a lot. The drumming is great. Guitar work is actually a lot better in this album. I feel like you are like, this is Vader. This is
Mhm.
Vader to its core, which the next album it changes, right? You're like, oh, okay. Which I understand why they did this album. This is their best of the death metal genre that they secluded themselves into. You know what I mean? This is
Mhm.
top tier. What they did. Couple songs of distant dream, back black to the blind, heading to internal darkness. They definitely got better with the song titles per
Mhm.
se. The song qualities are a lot better. It is still a little rough to listen to,
Mhm.
but I relate this to So Far So Good So What for Megadeth. It's one of those, okay, you got Killing, Peace, So Far, Rust in Peace. It's like they're, Halloween. You have Halloween 3 where the guy kills the kids with the mask. It had nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
This album feels like that to me. This is one of those albums where this is Vader. Here it is. This is why they're top tier. But you don't go back to that. Like the next album, you're like, oh, you sunk that ship to go to this one. I think they made a wise decision. I do appreciate the old stuff. This is top tier old stuff. I think this is top tier Die Hard for me. Top tier Die
Yeah.
Hard, very close to Lawnmower. Of course, operating with Mike Myers. Come on, man, we gotta fit it in somewhere. I did have the
Yeah.
mask over there, but my daughter got scared of it, so I put it up.
Well, the things we do
Eh,
for our children.
anything we do. Um, how do you like this list? What did you think about that album? Did you listen to that
I
album?
did. I listened to it.
Okay.
I think I was half asleep when I listened to it, so I was kind of on getting into nap time today when I was listening to it. But
Oh, hold the nap time. What are you talking about?
look,
Old man
man.
John here. You got a
Yeah, I know. It's taking my Sunday afternoon nap, man.
neighborhood of Mr. Sullivan. Jeez. Today's my Monday. So today's my Monday for work. So that's why I was able to
Yeah,
listen to albums. I was like, oh, I'll just listen to these three, go do my work. And dude, those albums, I was able to listen to them two times in a row. Honestly, the last three, which to me, the last three are probably the best Vader. Like, I'm really looking forward to the new one. Like, I'm from the production is what I'm really looking forward to with them. They do a really good job production.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's definitely a diehard album for sure.
Sure. What do you what? It is definitely Die Hard. I do feel bad with the older stuff. I don't put it
Yeah.
higher, but when I hear from 2000s on, you're like, I'm not going
Well, yeah,
backwards with that.
Yeah, those are the ones that like you like, yeah, I can listen to all of this, and you go back to some of these and you're like, well, I could totally skip this song, or I could, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah, I hear you. And I will say it's kind of nice to see a band, shit, 40 years, and they got better over time, over time. You're like, this is death metal to its core, and it's still played at precision. I so one thing I do, this is something I do personally. Every band we've had, I watch live shows. And I watch the recent live shows of them if I can, like from last year or whatever. They are that type of band. They play exactly what the albums ask or better. They are one of those bands.
yeah,
Metallica is not. I'm sorry. They lost me after the Black Album for live shows. After the Black Album, their shows are horrendous. Personally, just saying.
that is your opinion. You're entitled to.
Dream Theater, I feel like put on better shows than their albums. They look like they are
They and I'm
what
looking forward to all of that. The
yes,
new Dream Theater and when they go on tour, because
which is next year for us.
and yeah, that'll be
That'll be next year for us, of course. Hey, I
of
can
course.
wait, but
Yeah, no,
we but we
I
can at
would
least watch
definitely.
some videos from Europe and see how they're sounding. Of course,
Yep.
we're going to be oh the Michelle.
Hmm.
Whoever records it, you're going to get like a million views with like that on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah,
Congratulations already
yeah, and
beforehand.
they'll probably have something official out.
Oh, sure, sure. Um, but to me, does this list look good to you? You think it does?
Yeah, I'd say it does. Yeah,
I think this list is, I think we're right on point. This is close to my tier, how I would put it. Um, I had Morbid at first a little higher, but I noticed the other albums, I had to think about Lydian and Reveille. I was like, I did like those a little bit more. I did have Morbid higher though on my list, but my list was very close to this, very very close. Um, the only album that really disappointed me was Impressions for Blood. I I I was disappointed out of the 2000s. That's the only album I really didn't care for. I don't know why. It just didn't appeal to me. It didn't have the Vader riffage.
feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have this really good riffs that like they just are locked in, and their live stuff sounds just like they play. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like some bands are just horrible. When you're playing that fast, it's
yeah,
horrible to translate. Like him singing sounds normal to me, unless they got backing. My son is
yeah.
really into Shinedown, so we're going to see them Doswell in July. That's a good jumping start for him. That's a good start. And I heard about Stain's old drummer passed
Yeah,
away today.
yeah.
Rip.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Alcohol, man. Fuck him up. Get fired, man. You start drinking yourself to death. That's what happens. Sorry,
Bummer.
dude. Yeah, I don't. It's not what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear.
That's right.
And I'm the guy to do it. So cancel me if you don't like what I say. I don't give a shit. I really could care less.
I ain't your daddy. I ain't trying to
I
tell you what
I'm
to.
goddamn dirty. All right, are we done with Vader?
I think we are. I mean, like I've got like some of these. Like there was a album. I guess I don't know if it was
Which one?
like a EP or something. It was Reborn in Chaos.
I think Reborn in Chaos is a re. I noticed that too. That is, I think, a remastered or a um, redone songs per se. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
because yeah, there was the more kind of like Napalm Death kind of style of vocals on that one for me.
Yep.
So
So they call it a compilation because a lot of those songs, like Final Massacre, that is from the first album. So
Yeah,
that's reborn. So meaning that was done in
that
'98.
was done before, sure.
Correct.
Yeah,
So they probably redone the songs or remastered them.
yeah. Fucking Spotify, man. I swear.
Eh, well, we all learned a lesson today. Wikipedia. Go to there and just type
Go to
in.
Wikipedia because Wikipedia is correct all the time too.
At least there's correct about the albums.
That's fair to say. I will give you that.
Out of this, so out of the six bands we have listened to, we have done. What does this one rank for you? Was this
So
was this easier to listen to than a lot?
yeah, I mean,
Now,
the only one that was hard so far for me to listen to was
Gorgoth,
Gorgoroth.
Gorgoth. Cannibal Corpse was second in that little bit.
Yeah, I mean, not that it can. I mean, I like Cannibal Corpse, so I didn't have a difficulty listening to them. It was just
So much.
a lot, and
Overabundance of it.
there was a lot, and it gave me like those crazy melatonin dreams I used to have about
Ah.
like um, very vivid and slasher type things. So
I feel like it's like Dream Theater, Exodus, um, Vader took over number three for me, then Cannibal, then Metallica, then Gorgoth. I feel like that's kind of the order I would go in for me to be like, okay, Dream Theater is number one for me. Then go to I love me some Exodus. I feel like Exodus is just like Vader. They are similar with the production in later albums. They have dips, but man, their later stuff is still 40 years ripping, and I can really
it's still good, and I
it's
will
still
probably
good.
listen to it again.
Exactly. It's on my gym. It's on my gym stuff. So I got song. And Vader was one of those bands I listened to years ago. I'm like, man, I really need to like go back to listening to 'em, right? Like I'm like, man, I really didn't give him a shot. I'm glad we
Yeah,
I'm glad
and
we did.
yep, I'm the same way, and I'm glad they came up. And like I've heard, maybe on like XM there might be the rare, on the Liquid Metal channel there. Shout
Yeah.
out to Liquid Metal.
Like
Uh,
metal. Sponsor us.
that there may have been a Vader song or two on there, and I was like, okay, yeah, these guys are,
I have to admit, Vader does do killer covers.
oh yeah, for sure.
Their
And I
covers
will
top of
and
the
I will probably go listen to that Futures Past here too.
I didn't listen to it to sway my votes because they have two future past
Mhm.
and some of those songs I'm like, okay, I know that song, but the other, I think part two, I'm like, I
Part
don't.
two, they're all like Norwegian titles or
That's what I thought. I was like, man, I know one or two of them. I was like, I don't know any, but that's the beauty part with Vader. I'm like, oh, they're gonna make him better. They're probably not make him better. They're gonna make him Vader-esque.
yep,
I just made a new term. Yes,
yep, Vader-esque. Nice. Yeah.
Vader-esque.
Well, it's like how Metallica does with their covers too.
They do a good job. I will give Metallica the credit. When you listen to the EPs of cover, you're like, they made it Metallica-esque. You're like, gave the okay to be. They are one of the first bands to do that, if you think about it, to really
Really
be.
just do the cover thing and make them sound like they were their own songs.
Well, let's look at it from this point of view too. A lot of bands owe Metallica a sandwich or something for helping them out.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I call it. Jamie Josta on the Josta show always does the segment. You ever heard the segment? Um, uh, this and that or something like that, where you hear a part of a song and a part of another song, and they are kind of eerily similar. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I think that band owes them a ham sandwich." You know what I mean, for helping them out.
Well, right, and again, like I've said a couple of times before, there's only so many notes
Yes.
and there's only so many progressions, so you're bound to repeat something at some time with the thousands and thousands of bands out there.
Right? Maybe playing fast, you can't tell. You can't
Yep.
tell,
Or
like
maybe if you like slow it down enough that you can't tell either.
crowbar and down. You're absolutely
Yep.
right. Slow it down. All right, are we okay with this list? We're good?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
The wheel of approval gets a stamp of approval. All right.
All right.
Now, my favorite part.
What?
This. This is where people started giving me shit.
Well, it's like, look, man. I mean,
Well, I did mess up. They were in
two.
alphabetical order, right?
Uh huh.
So what I can do, shuffle, 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 shuffle. All these are shuffled. They're all shuffled into different degrees. Shuffle, 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 hide.
There you
Now you
go.
don't know what it is. It's all shuffled. It's in non-alphabetical order. I have no say in this.
Aren't doing.
Oh, there you are. So a lot of you people out there giving me shit about doing Cannibal Corpse, Gorgoth, and Vader. It is not my fault.
It's the
Okay?
computer.
Yes.
It's the wheel. It's called the wheel for a reason.
It is the wheel. Look how many. Look. Look how.
It's like the claw from Toy Story, right? He's been chosen by
Oh.
the claw.
Look, we got like Screaming Trees, Emerson Lake, James Addiction's in here.
Dude, Flying Colors is probably going to be a difficult one for me because Neil Morse does not like Spotify.
I can help you with that. I'll help you with that. I threw that in there. Remember,
That's
I said
Hey,
if you
yeah.
want albums in here or bands, I'll throw them in because I took mine from the tree, the metal tree
Yep.
that what's his face did a documentary. So I just copied and like I got Aerosmith in here, I got Kansas, I got Red Hot. Like there are bands in here. I'm telling you, it's not all death metal in this stuff.
I I'm just looking at Camelot right there. They're actually touring around here pretty soon. I
Right?
keep seeing I keep
So
seeing
like I got Buddy Rich in here. Like I got other bands. I'm telling you, like Kitty's in here with
I love
Richard.
Kitty. I
Yeah,
love Kitty.
I have other bands. So quit your bitching about these bands. It is not.
Oh, Dream Theater's still on the list, huh?
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. So I did notice that I have to erase the band and I got to save it back. So I did. I forgot that band. I did get Metallica out of there. Vader. All the other bands are gone. So like we did. I have to save this now. Actually, save, save. Yes. There we go.
How long is it spinning for?
Well, I haven't spun yet.
Oh,
'Cause I want it.
it just looks like it's
I want,
spinning because my
it is spinning. It is because it's just there. But you'll notice if you look inside, they're switching. I
oh
am
yeah.
click 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 boom. I have no say in this. I'm not cheating. I swear to God. Okay, John, you ready? Now, do we want to be really big assholes right now?
Yeah.
We- oh, I love. We're going to spin this 60 seconds. You want to go 60 seconds long? Let's go 60 seconds long. I'm
Go
feeling like it.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it. You know what, people? I'll tell you that lies. Ron said, I have no say in this. I do. I will admit, I do feel bad because I'm like, okay, we're going from a really deep death metal band to like a zombie metal, death metal. I call it zombie metal, right?
Yep.
Then you go to thrashy death metal. This is where it gets kind of in the middle for me, where you could be Exodus Metallica with Vader in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think it's that way. Um, Oh, it's getting
Did it
there.
did it stop?
Oh, it's about to. Ooh, dark twin. Is it Blue Coal? No, it
Uh,
passed Blue Coal. It's coming.
I don't
Is
even know
that
how you
it?
can. Well, you've got like 9 monitors. I just got my laptop here.
Oh, I swear. Okay.
Oh,
All right, John. Do we need to make an executive decision here?
for a respin.
Yes. Do we need to do a respin? What do you think?
I think we should respin.
Okay. Well, this is how good we are. I will. And it's still shuffled. It's still shuffled. Okay. I swear. I
This will be whatever it picks this time. This is what it's going to be.
Rob even said yes. Look, I'll tell you this much. I don't listen to a lot of death metal. I really don't. This is the
I mean,
I
I don't either. Honestly, I
Suffocation a little bit, Deicide I used to listen to a lot. Ooh, the New
New
York
York
Dolls.
Dolls.
Do you
Well, there
know
you go. See, that's not death metal, kids.
this thing
Are
is
you
kids?
happy now?
See? Do you know who the New York Dolls are?
I have heard of them. I'm
Okay.
not
So the New
familiar.
York Dolls is a
Was that
band from the 70s.
was that
They
like
were
Dio before?
you're talking early, they are early glam metal. Never heard of them? You will know the lead singer of this band because it used to be an actor. And
All actors want to be rock stars, and all rock
he
stars
actually
want to
turned
be actors.
into a pretty good actor, actually. Near Dolls Band. So they don't have many albums. Yep. You recognize this person right here, David Johansen. He's an actor.
Oh, was he? He was in Scrooged, right? He was
The
the
cabbie.
taxi driver. Yeah, I love
Yes.
that guy.
So you do know the band. This is pre-acting career. They are prototype punk rock. Punk rock.
Good lord! All right,
Um,
yeah. There's a few.
so
There's a
they
lot of there's a lot of live stuff in here. It looks
a
like.
lot of live stuff, but there is not many studio albums. So studio albums, one, two, three, four, five. They got five.
And
That's
then
it.
everything else is live. That's crazy.
A lot of compilations, a lot of
A lot
singles.
of singles. Yep.
Dude, their first album was 1973. New York Dolls. They are prototype punk rock, right?
Yeah.
They are prototype spandex. They, yep, there you go, glam rock. So they drew elements, dirty rock and roll, archetype of Stooges, David Bowie, T Rex, and they were ahead of their time when they first came out. But internal fighting blew the. I know New York Dolls. I know who they are. Um, so there you go, New
There you
York
go.
Dolls. Yep. There's only one member left from the Dolls. Everybody else has died. Yep.
Well, being from the 70s, you would.
Yep. So a lot of them tried like different stuff in life. Like there they are right there. That's them.
All right.
There you
I
go.
will get into my notes.
All
These are
right.
these are my Vader notes.
New York Dolls. Well, there
So we're
you
gonna
go.
do New York Dolls.
Is it the New York Dolls?
I think it's just New York Dolls.
Oh, I threw Transatlantic in here too.
Nice.
Yeah, I knew you
Yeah,
were.
again, those Neil Morse bands may be a little difficult for me to get because he just hates Spotify because Spotify hates everyone and are greedy bastards.
Yeah, fair enough. I do appreciate that.
He has his own actually he has his own like streaming service
Oh yeah,
like Rainforest or something.
yeah, yep.
I
Definitely
don't know.
glam rock. Yep, glam rock came from New York Dolls. Aerosmith loved them. You're going to notice a lot of bands. They have a documentary on them. I saw the documentary. It's pretty good. We're talking years ago. They were ahead of Kiss a little bit too. That's where a lot of that glam stuff. You'll notice the singing is very punky and like ahead of its time a little bit. So, but that's the end of the show, John. That's it.
Yeah,
New York Dolls is next. I really see we compromised.
there you go.
We go from dark to dirty glam, very dirty glam. But it's 5 albums. I think everybody can get through five, and hopefully we get more people on the show. We can do that.
Yep, if not, then I mean we still kill it anyway, so it
That's
doesn't
true.
matter.
Yeah. Vader, I highly recommend. The first
Yep.
Empire and the TV. They got some pretty
Yep.
nice guitar riffs, but the singer sounds like shit. Well,
That's your opinion.
that is your opinion. If you be on the show, we'll let you talk about it. Other than
That's
that,
right.
I really appreciate you being out there. Give me a rating. Don't tell me this sucked. All right, John, you say goodbye to the people?
Goodbye, internet people.
Goodbye, Internet. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Later.
Later.